Cause I did it my way, none of y'all can say. In this life or the next one, watch me, I'ma be the best of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thanks for tuning into The Deal with Danny Brown. I just want to thank all of you a lot. I've gotten a lot of texts and emails congratulating me about Wall Street Journal top 200 in the country. I really, really appreciate it. And what a great week. I got Sarah back from Tokyo today. She's been gone. I got Lee in the house. Got a hot date tonight. Ray, he made it. And he may be sober. I don't know. Depends how much time you're with Be Real, Les. Oh, you're good. Okay. Be Real wasn't with you this morning? Okay. This week, we have an unbelievable story. Our guest is Laura Wilson. She's the founder of Natural Pilates, founded in Beverly Hills. Now she has 4 studios in Beverly Hills, Brentwood, Silver Lake, West Hollywood. But man, this is the American dream. She was born in Romania, a little town called Râdudi, was a competitive in archery, won national championships in archery. Left after high school, came to the United States with a prayer and a dream and no money in her pocket. Got a job cleaning houses and cleaning motels, and she was thrilled about it. She was making minimum wage and thought she was banking big cash, stacking chips. She had a great attitude all the way. She kept making money, saving money, eventually saved enough money to move to LA and rent an apartment. She got a job at a physical therapist's office where she was introduced to physical therapy and wellness and Pilates early on. She jumped all over it, got Pilates certified. Soon after, she opened a little studio with very little money, knowing nothing about starting a business, and boom, she hustled her way. It's the American dream. She's got one of the most explosive, successful Pilates studios in the country. I've been there many times. It's an unreal workout. I keep telling you guys. I wish I did Pilates when I was competing. It would have helped me with my explosiveness, with injuries, etc. Anyway, the story is more incredible than the Pilates, although the Pilates is incredible too. So tune in, and thank you again for checking us out, and for leaving comments. And please, it would be huge for us if you can just tell one person to subscribe. Our subscription is way up, and each week it's building, and we want to keep the momentum growing. So thanks, guys.
In this life or the next one, watch me, I'ma be the best of them.
My wife is a huge fan of yours and a huge follower. She spends a lot of time at your business, Natural Pilates.
She definitely can be hired as salesperson.
She's a good promoter.
Oh, she's definitely a good promoter for sure.
Well, I really wanted to get you in here and get your story. You have a huge flourishing Pilates business. Now, tell me, you're in Beverly Hills, you're in Silver Lake.
So we have a studio in Beverly Hills across the Peninsula Hotel.
Right.
We are in Brentwood on Barrington and Sunset.
Okay.
In Silver Lake and in West Hollywood. Like 2 months ago, we just opened our new location. So
Congrats.
It's really exciting.
Really exciting. And you have a few more in the works that may be coming soon?
In the future, we're thinking of Studio City, Calabasas, Manhattan Beach, New York. So these are the 4 that are in the next 2 years, hopefully. Yeah.
Awesome. So give me a little bit of breakdown for people that don't know your business. What is your business? How many people work for you now? When did it start? Kind of give us the beginning, just the basic breakdown of Natural Pilates, where it started and where it is now.
Okay, so should we start actually at the beginning with the whole story, so then we get to the business?
God, you're smart. Okay. She should be hosting this. You know what? You're right. Let's go way back to the beginning. So this is not just a story about Natural Pilates. This is sort of a story about the American dream, and it really exists. And your story people will soon find out, will really exemplify that. But let's go back to the beginning. You grew up in Romania. You were born in Romania. So tell us your story.
Okay, so I'm originally from Romania. I moved to America when I was 21. But before I moved to America, in high school and in elementary school, I was involved in gymnastics. I was involved in dance, but really the passion was archery. So since I was 11 years old, I did archery till about when I went to college. So that was in like year 2000. And in that time, obviously, I perfected my skill. And I was in a national Romanian team for about 4 or 5 years, starting with 1995 to 2000. And I think being in a national team. And not only just doing a professional sport really taught me a lot of things about who I am today and how I operate. But also the society that I really grew up in. So in Romania, when I was younger going to school, we had a communistic regime. Ceausescu was in power at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I had the best childhood ever. Because when you don't know anything different,
that's all you knew.
Everything is great. So it's really a matter of attitude. It doesn't matter if you grew up in a poor country or a rich country, or a country with more opportunities. Is really about the mentality and the attitude that your parents basically have in a house, and also who you are as a person.
Were your parents into athletics? And how did you get into athletics? Was that common in the town you grew up in? Were your parents or family? Or?
So the good part about a society, like a communistic, socialistic society, is the fact that the government pays for a lot of the extra activities from school.
Okay.
So basically it is mandatory for you to go to school. You can't choose like here. You can really homeschool in Romania.
There's no homeschool?
No, you can. So you have to basically, it's very rigid. You have to wear uniforms. You need to sit up like this.
Whoa. I wouldn't do so well there.
Your hands need to be here. Like it's super disciplinary.
It's like the military.
Yeah. No, seriously. And
it's not like going to school in Brentwood.
No, definitely not. I mean, and kids don't really have the ability to tell what they like or what they don't like,
I can imagine.
So this is the way we're doing, and that's the only way. So basically my way or the highway.
Right.
And
a little different than the West Side educational system.
Definitely. But I mean, that has a good thing to it in a matter of that, kids need the discipline. And, it's okay if, I mean, at like 10 years old, really, I'm not in a position to take decisions for myself.
Yeah.
So it was actually really good that I lived in a very peaceful city.
What was it called? You told me?
Radouți, 40,000 people.
40,000 people.
Yeah, so basically like a lot of people know each other. I mean, almost everybody knows each other. Everybody that goes to school know each other. Parents know each other. You basically grow up in the neighbor's house. You play in a street. And
so
I mean,
it's really cool.
I know in America it used to be like this a long time ago.
Well, and in some areas like that, not really in the big cities, but some neighborhoods, some areas.
Yeah, I mean,
like
definitely that was the best part of my childhood, I could say. Because, I mean, I used to leave home and I used to give my mom a heart attack because we used to not come home till like 8, 9 p.m. So,
and that was scary.
Yeah, that was
staying
scary
out late,
for her,
8 or 9
not
o'clock.
for us, because it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't so scary like today. We barely had cars. I never had a car in my life till I got to America. So we walked everywhere. We walked to school. I mean, I went to school since the first grade by myself.
Yeah.
So it teaches you to be, it teaches you. You have to, because your parents go to work. So you have to go to school by yourself. You come back by yourself. You play with your friends by yourself outside till parents come home. You do your homework by yourself. That's why I don't really understand like a lot of the engagement in the schools with parents volunteering and stuff, because I didn't grow up like that, But I mean, I'm sure it's great because my kids love for me to be at school.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so one of the extra activities that I used to do after school was archery.
Yeah.
So basically that used to count as credits for my physical education. But don't worry, my coach used to make me do 50 push-ups every day. And we used to do 2 trainings a day in a weekend.
When you're 11 years old?
Yeah, starting from 11 to 20. Yeah, so we used to go
2 a days.
2 a days in a weekend and summertime, and then in a school day, we used to 2 hours after school.
Right.
And it used to be great for us because the government actually paid you if you're really good. They gave you like a little bit of money.
Stipend?
Yeah, to kind of like incentivize you for you to go to train.
So did you have that?
Yeah, of course. That was one of the perks.
Wow.
You know?
So you're getting paid a little bit, but not probably a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and then I used to get all my sports clothes, like pants.
Getting the free
and
swag, the gear.
Yeah, because I mean.
The Nikes and the Reebok and the whole thing?
Oh, yeah, right, for sure.
What
Just like with Romania on it.
Romania,
the
sweatsuits that say Romania.
I mean, it was really good just because like I couldn't really afford to buy myself clothes.
Yeah.
Like my first pair of pants, like real pair of pants, like jeans, was in 7th grade. Before that, I used to get clothes from a factory that my mom used to work at.
Right.
Like just the tights, everybody has.
That's
and those are my clothes. And then I do remember that, you only get one pair of shoes. And that was one of the things that when I moved to America, I went to Ross Dress for Less. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in Disneyland here. Like,
You're in
I bought
heaven.
myself like 5 pairs of like jeans, and I bought myself shoes, and I mean, everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe that people actually here can afford to buy, if they want, like a pair of jeans, like almost every week, you know? That's kind of like,
Totally
I only
different.
got like a pair of jeans every
How
quarter.
are we at the
like,
sound, Ray? Are we okay?
It's good when you're on it. Just don't turn.
don't turn. Okay.
Try to set, yeah.
Okay.
Just making sure. Don't want to lose any of this good content. So, national team. Does that
Yep.
mean like you're competing in the Olympics? Does that mean you're
No, not
competing against
you know, Romania.
other nations?
Yeah,
like
just
what?
no, like so much more like more national. Like there's different clubs in
Within
the
the country.
Yeah, like there are like 5-6 clubs, and then we used to go a lot of competitions in the country, which
Yeah.
was great for me because again, we didn't really afford to travel. So this was a good way to travel, and just to kind of, when you go with a group of people, it's so much fun, and you just feel part of something.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know, but definitely my coach was like, go to bed at 9, and of course we wouldn't comply all the time, but you know, just like really fun, just like camp, like a sleepover camp.
Yeah, so it was
You know?
fun. You loved
yeah, it was super fun. But then when was training and when was competition, we had to.
That's intense.
Yeah, I mean, you have to focus, you know, because you want to win. When you win, you make more money. So you know, it was definitely a perk to like really try to be the best. So in Romania, like about that time, I do remember, actually, that was probably before even archery. I was about 8 years old. I remember that, you know, my mom used to wake us up at 4 a.m. so we can go stay in line to buy bread and to
Wow.
buy chicken, and which I guess maybe now it's too much of everything everywhere, you know, but like we used to only get like a quarter of a bread per person.
Got it.
So everything
It's like
used to be
rationed
quoted.
out.
Yeah, and chicken and gas, because we didn't really had gas, or even hot water. Like we had hot water 2 hours every 2 days a week.
2 hours, 2 days a week.
Like Wednesday
This
and
is when everyone
Saturday.
has to shower. 2 days
Basically.
or take a cold shower.
Basically, yeah, basically. So
That's insane.
later, you know, of course, water was introduced. Now we're democracy, so we have everything, you know.
But not at that time.
Yeah, not at that time. So, but you know, again, when you don't know something else.
That's all you knew. So that was normal.
Yes, I mean, I remember when I was a little kid that police cars used to go on the street, say, "Don't drink the water. Water's poison." And I'm like, oh, this is so fun, you know? And my mom was like freaking out. And I'm like, I didn't really understand what's going on, you know, at that
Oh, my
age. And
God.
We grew in a society where you don't really discuss a lot of the things, you know?
Everything's private. You don't discuss.
Everything is
No,
private.
it's not
You don't
open.
know about your neighbors. You don't really know about, you can't talk anything that happens in your household. So, you know, you just do small talk all the time,
Small talk. all
which
the
is great, you know?
So discipline, sort of a tough life, time management. Maybe going through it didn't seem tough, but now looking back, now that you see the difference of what's going on here.
I mean, I definitely
that's-
wouldn't change anything.
Yeah,
Put
well,
it
I'm
that
sure
way.
it's gotten you here. I mean, what your upbringing and
Yeah,
your
I mean-
discipline and your mental toughness has put you on a path for success in business. But so let's continue back to Romania. You're competing now through high school. You're competing, or
Yeah.
and through college, or
No, because by that time, when I left to college, I was in a different city. So
Okay.
I didn't have the opportunity to practice as much. And so to backtrack just a tiny bit, my mom actually had to leave when I was 17. She moved to Italy. She went in an
She moved.
excursion, and then she stayed in a church without knowing anybody. And she basically got a job in Italy, so she can basically send us money so we
To
can
support
go
the
to
family.
to support the family, and also for us to go to college.
so she made the trade-off
Yeah.
and the sacrifice.
Basically,
Wow.
yeah. So I haven't seen my mom at that point from 17 to really at the when I came to America
That's
when I
really
was 21.
tough. Obviously, you're 17 years old. You're a teenager. You're going through all that stuff socially and everything else, and your mom's not there. That had to be really challenging.
Yeah,
now, was that common in your city, where there was a lot of parents or mothers that did that kind of thing?
Yeah,
Was that-
so at that time was a migration that was happening from Romania in Europe, because Romania just got into UN by
Yes.
that time. So everybody kind of left, because you actually no, at that time you still needed visa. So later on, when I came to America, I went and visited my mom.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Romanians that basically went in Europe to work and send the money back home just because you couldn't really survive. And I guess everybody wants a better life. So
Sure.
it's what people did. I went to the college.
And where did you go to college?
I went to college in Cluj-Napoca, Babeș-Bolyai. I studied geography. I really should have gone and studied physical therapy. However, in Romania, physical therapy is not like a big deal, you know, and I didn't really want to be sports teacher at the time because you make no money.
Got it.
So then
there was no
said,
future at that moment from what you saw.
I mean,
pursuing
honestly, there's no
sport.
future almost in anything. It's just, so I thought about like, what can I do to actually have a lot of fun?
Yeah.
At that point. Was a good decision and not so good decision, you know, because I mean, geography, I studied urban planning.
Okay.
And it's
Well,
just
that's
like,
interesting.
it's interesting, but it definitely has nothing to do with my passion.
Okay.
You know, because in high school, I studied chemistry, biology, and I was always interested in human anatomy.
Got it.
And
Sounds
I
like
was
a background for a doctor, medicine.
basically, so I definitely should have pursued that, but I'm like, oh, so many years of school,
Yeah,
like, why do I want to
right.
do that?
It's
you
a
know,
lot of school.
mostly when you're like
So there
20,
you are doing
21.
geography in Romania in college.
Yeah.
And is college in Romania college that we know here in Western United States? I mean, is it like it's social and parties? And
Oh, yes.
so it
Really
is.
super fun. Yes.
So it is fun.
Yeah, really fun. We used to be in a dorm with like 6 other girls. And,
So it was party time, just like any other college here.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
And was way too little time for me because I only did 2 years. And then when I used to travel with archery, I made a friend. And this friend of mine went to America with inter-exchange students programs. And at that time, emails were not very popular yet. So we used to write letters. Yeah.
How about
so he
that?
said to me, oh, you got to apply for this inter-exchange student program and come to America. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So
And that's how
that's what I did. So I applied for inter-exchange student programs and
student exchange program in America. That's how it started.
yeah, so work and travel, you come in for 3 months and then you travel a month after and then you're supposed to come back.
So 3 months you come to work, and then they give you a month to travel, the 4th month, and then back to Romania. That's
Yes.
the program.
So basically,
you get accepted.
I got
and-
accepted, was about $1,500. My mom obviously gave me the money. However, like she didn't really have any extra money to give me. So when I got to New York, I had $100.
$100 in your pocket.
Yeah.
In New York City.
Unfortunately, I had a job in Long Beach Island, New Jersey,
You had a job in New Jersey.
as a
$100
housekeeper.
in your pocket. What year is this? The 90s now? What are
No,
we talking-
that was 2000. I was 21, so that was 2002. So
Already
I
2002.
came June 16,
$100 in
2002.
2002.
June 16, 2002.
Yeah.
I remember I landed in New York. I went to the hotel where everybody met, and they gave me directions how to get to New Jersey. And I'm like,
You
I'm
spoke
just
English at this time or no?
not a lot.
Very
So I was
little.
just like, I dropped my bag somewhere in a hotel, and I'm like, I'm going to explore to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just tried to get something to eat. I bought something for $3. It was so spicy. I'm like, oh, I couldn't understand what anything
you
was.
couldn't read the menu.
No, I
what
couldn't
was it, like
really-
Indian food or something? What was
I
it?
have no idea. You know?
You have no idea what you ate, but it was spicy.
Yeah, and then I went a couple of stores, and I remember I saw this really cool jeans jacket was $70, and I was like
Well,
debating.
that's 70% of your net worth at that
Basically.
point.
I was really debating, should I buy this jacket or should I not? You know, unfortunately, I did not buy it.
I think that's a good fiscal decision.
Yeah, exactly, right. And 2 days later, I went to Long Beach Island, New Jersey. I took the train,
Yeah.
and my employer, I remember Seahorse Motel.
Seahorse Motel in New Jersey.
She waited for me at the station, and she took me to her home. And you know, first thing to see like American house, I was like, oh my God, this is like amazing, you know,
Got
because
it.
in Romania, in Europe, usually the apartments are super small and super dark.
Yeah.
So come to New Jersey, the houses are huge.
Big suburban
And
house.
I'm like,
sprawling.
I could get used to this. I like this, you know.
So far you're into it.
Yeah, and you know, my original idea was I'm never gonna stay because I want to go back and finish my college because I used to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
And I wanted to finish my college. And meantime, I did in Romania facials and I used to do waxings.
Got
so I
it.
did cosmetology school. So,
So
my
that's
idea,
what you did in Romania while you were
my
going through
idea
school.
was to go back and buy like a little apartment and open like a spa
a business, a spa, yeah.
at the first floor.
Got it. So your thought was, I'm coming to the United States for a couple months, and then I'm going back to start a business and finishing what you started.
Yeah, finish
So now
college.
you're in New Jersey. You get a job at a motel, you said?
Yeah, like housekeeper at
Housekeeper at a
the
motel. How big is this motel? How many
Like
rooms are we talking about?
8 upstairs and 6 downstairs. I like remember.
14
Yeah,
rooms
14 rooms.
motel. Is this like what we call a roach motel? Or what? It's like a Howard Johnson. What is this? Motel 7? What do we got going on here?
So it was a family-owned motel, which is nice. Was definitely very clean because I was cleaning it,
You
and
were a
I'm
good cleaner?
OCD. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
It's
OCD,
like-
so you went right to work.
Yeah, because in Romania you don't get housekeepers, so you have to do
you
all the
learned.
cleaning. So my mom used to make me like clean the house
and
to
polish,
the dot. You know what
like
I
a
mean?
museum.
So that was like one of my things that I was really good at.
That's hilarious. So you're cleaning rooms now, like mopping, cleaning, everything. This
Yeah.
is it. And you said that the motel you had mentioned, there was other students from Romania. That's who was working at the motel with you.
Yes, I
cleaning
came
rooms.
with 2 friends from Romania.
Part of the program.
Part of the program. We both, all 3 of us
moly.
stayed in the same room, basically,
little
with
room.
bunk beds.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, it was really fun. For
you,
me,
you
it
were
was
having
just
a
like I
blast.
was in heaven, you know. Like, I mean, it
Isn't
couldn't
that
be.
something? It's just your perspective and mindset. So tell us about that. So for you, I'm hearing that, I'm going, oh, what a nightmare. But you were saying that was
No,
actually a
super
fun
fun.
experience, and you made the best of it, and you were making money, and there was a pool. Tell me about.
Yeah, so I first
to that.
experience in New Jersey, like I'm going to the market, people are in pajamas at the market. And I'm like, why are they wearing pajamas? You know, like, because in Romania, you don't go out of the house without being made
Dressed
up, makeup, you know what I mean? You just can't do that. And then walk around up and down the streets. I find another place, another motel or business that hires Romanian people, students just like me.
Yeah.
And I went in, I meet everybody because I'm really friendly. I want to know who's there. I want to know where I am. So that's what I always do. I leave my stuff and I kind of go and explore.
Yeah. You're outgoing, very social.
Yeah, and then I got into to getting my job done, and my friends arrived a couple of days later after me, and it was a super fun summer. Basically, ocean was across the street. We used to go. I mean, I used to go sleep on the beach, and the motel where I used to work had a swimming pool. So I was finishing my work really quick and go sit by the pool.
So you were like spring break, summer break, having a blast.
basically.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? It's all perspective. So
But-
you're
but
having a
then-
blast.
But then I see all these young kids driving these convertibles, and I'm like, I like this. I like this. I'm like, I don't know if I could go back now after seeing this, So I was definitely,
See, driving the convertible Jettas and BMWs and
basically.
Roccos.
So one of the other employers that my friends were working for, they asked me, so what are you good at? And I'm like, I don't know. I can do massages, because I used to do
That's what
facials
you
and
did,
stuff.
yeah.
So he said, okay, buy a cell phone and buy a massage table. And before that, give me a massage. And I'm like, oh my God, I honestly never gave a massage in my whole life.
Oh, God. So now
So
you're
he-
winging it.
Yeah, so I give him a back massage. He's like, this was the best massage I ever had. You got to start a business. So basically, I ordered my cell phone, massage table. The guy brought all his friends. I used to do 1-hour massages for $20.
Oh, what a deal.
It's a deal for me. I was like, oh my God, I'm making all this extra cash.
Oh, you were rolling
was
in
like
money. You thought-
amazing. Amazing. So
so you were making money hand over fist, thinking this is the best. I'm making
Exactly.
America. Opportunities everywhere.
exactly. I met these guys, Ruby players
Wait.
from Philadelphia.
And you didn't like go to school for this. There's no training. You just
No
said
training.
line up your buddies and $20 a pop and let's.
Basically, and
So
I
no
just
more
loved
motel. This is now a new business.
No, I was
This is-
working at the
you're
motel.
2 jobs.
Yes, 2 jobs.
2
Yeah,
jobs,
'cause
man.
you
I
gotta
got
use
2
your
jobs.
time.
How many? 3 jobs, man. So now you got multiple jobs. So you're just stacking chips.
Basically saving money. So I met these people. They said, "Oh, we love the massages. If you want to move with us in Philadelphia, you could stay in our apartment and give us massages as a trade." I'm like, oh, I don't think I could do that. Next day I called them, hey, is the offer still available? After my job was done, I'm driving with them to Philadelphia,
Oh my God.
living in a beautiful apartment on Front Street,
Nice.
and meeting a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
So I did that for a little bit, for 6 months.
So you've surpassed your 3-month stay,
Well,
right?
I actually, meantime, I applied for school in Los Angeles. So while I was waiting for my papers to be, I got accepted, but the school didn't start till later.
So that allows you to get a student visa, or how does that
Yes,
work?
I got a student visa.
So now you can stay longer.
So I could stay and go to school.
Got
So
it.
that was my plan. I want to experience a little more of this. I'm
You
having
weren't ready
fun.
to go back to Romania. So
Yeah,
now
so-
you're in Philadelphia.
I'm in Philadelphia. I'm having a good time. I work in a restaurant there for a couple of months. And I was living on 8th and Walnut, which is next to the Liberty Bell.
Right in the heart of everything.
Yeah, which is, I mean, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
After I got my student visa, obviously, I had to come and move to Los Angeles. So that was my first in touch with Los Angeles.
So you, after Philadelphia, you're coming to LA to start school.
Basically, I remember very vividly I had the teddy bear in the airport in Chicago because that was my connection. And just kind of like, I had so much happiness and optimism. When I used to get $3,000 at that point.
You saved $3,000.
$3,000
That's a
over
lot
the
of cash.
summer. Yeah. I mean, with all those
Coming from
massages.
$100 and now you have 3 G's in the pocket.
I mean,
So
that
now
was
you have
definitely
3
an
G's and you're
improvement.
coming to LA.
Basically. So.
And did you have, did you know what you were into a school? You got accepted?
Yeah,
to
so I got accepted in a school.
Did you have
I
a
got my
place to
student
live?
visa. No, my friends actually, I was with in New Jersey. They came before I did. So they had a
They
studio
set
ready.
up shop. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
So you had a place to stay.
I had a place to stay for a couple of weeks. I basically immediately started looking for a job. And then I just couldn't live there anymore because there was just too many people in one place. And I found this apartment on 8th in Michigan in Santa Monica. 3-bedroom apartment.
So were you going to school at Santa Monica?
No, I was actually going to school downtown. But
okay.
I don't know. I just found this apartment and I went to the landlord and I say, I don't have credit. I don't have a job, but I'm going to work hard to pay the bills. That was like $1,500 a month. I don't know who watched over me, but she said, okay.
She said, okay.
So I got 2 roommates. And
So now it's 3 people sharing $500 bucks a month.
$500 a month, which is okay. It's
Okay.
good.
For Santa Monica, that's damn good.
Definitely, yeah. And then, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then I got a job in a restaurant.
What restaurant?
Was a restaurant on a promenade, a Greek restaurant. It closed down like a year ago. I was
Okay.
actually pretty sad.
So on the promenade, which is
Yeah.
also a fun social
Yeah,
area.
fun and social area. And then I
I'm seeing a
thought,
theme here. A lot of fun, a lot of...
well, I was
but a
still
lot of hard
21,
work.
you know,
Yeah.
I was 21.
Yeah, you were
it's
so
like,
young.
yeah. I definitely didn't had a lot of time to mess around just because,
money.
I had the goal, Once I started working there, I was like, I need to do something to promote my career to what I'm going to do. I can work in a restaurant for a very
Right.
long time. Not that I didn't love it. It's just,
You start thinking ahead.
yeah, I had what I'm going to do
Long-term.
with my life, And on a promenade used to be the massage school.
Mm-hmm.
And I already had a little bit of experience of practicing without.
Yeah, you were killing
being-
it in Philadelphia and
Exactly.
New Jersey.
So basically, that was the cheapest option for me to get a job, to have a job, and to do what I want and be licensed and be all and okay with all the papers, all the licenses. So I went to massage school for 3 months. Then I found this little office it's still there on Venice Boulevard. It's called Oasis Healing Center.
Okay.
It's on, I forgot the cross street. Anyway, so it was a place where we used to have acupuncturists, couple of massage
So like a
rooms.
Healing
just like a
spa,
healing,
wellness center kind of thing.
basically.
Yeah.
So I used to start doing massages there. And also I used to carry my massage table because at that point I didn't really have a car. So I used to carry my massage table in the bus.
On the bus?
On the bus.
You're
going to
schlepping the big table onto
big
the bus.
table on the bus. And then
That's a sight. I can imagine. Just picture you.
It was not fun. That part was
climbing
not
up the
fun.
steps of the bus, getting your money out. The
That
big
part
table.
was like, I'm start roughing it now. Like, it's not so fun anymore, this. But
Yeah, that's
Also-
back to Romania. That's like gangster style Romania. Take the bus with the table, and here we go.
Yeah, it was definitely like hard work. Like I used to
Yeah.
work in this chiropractic office also on Venice, where in Venice, where actually was closer to Culver City overland. So basically, I had to change 3 buses to get there. So my first appointment used to be 6 a.m. So I basically had to get up at 4.
Whoa.
Go there, do a massage for $30, and come back. Maybe go back later, do another massage for $30.
God, you were working hard. That's hustling and grinding at a whole nother
Yeah.
level. That's taking it to another level.
Yeah, but for me, it was I never thought about like, oh, this is too much work.
No,
Like
you
I
just
just
did
did
it.
what I had to do.
Did what you had to do, and
Yeah.
true hustler, hard worker. I mean, that's the mentality.
Yeah, basically. And
So you got into a chiropractor's office. Is that is that where you got your first exposure to sort of more wellness, technical wellness? Because I'm curious now how you made the shift into Pilates from this. Because I know
obviously I had many jobs. So I used to work also on 26 and San Vicente and Brentwood in a physical therapy office.
so you worked in physical therapy.
Yeah, so I
okay.
guess that
So
was
you got
really my
exposure.
ground place because I was there for 2 years, and then they used to do Pilates for rehabilitation there.
Got it. So you were introduced to Pilates there.
Yeah,
You saw it.
so that was kind of like second nature for me, just because I was in sports, and I never even tried it, and I'm getting certified. So basically, I said, I'm just going to learn the reformer a little bit and see how it goes. And after I learned basically the reformer, I couldn't stop. Like
just
I
loved
just
it.
keep learning and keep learning. And 6 months after I finished my Pilates certification, my husband, which was my boyfriend at the time,
Yeah.
I said, I'm looking for new space just because, the massage place where I used to work, where I used to rent a room, used to be in Venice, and then I used to be in Brentwood. So it was just a
Wasn't
little bit too
convenient.
much when you don't even have a car.
Yeah.
And
So-
I found the spot in Beverly Hills, which is my current studio.
that space
That
across from the
space.
peninsula.
Yeah, so basically
That was your
that's
first space.
Yes, but was an office building, really
Okay.
old looking.
Got it.
But
So
it
it didn't
used to
look-
have this one room that I looked through. I remember I looked through the mail thing, and they had like really nice hardwood floors, but the hallway had carpet and used to be not so modern, like
Yeah.
really old style office
So
building.
it was beat up, but you had a vision.
Well, I don't know if I had a vision at that time, but so basically what happened is that rent was 700 square feet, that room, and the rent was like $1,300. My rent at home was $500.
Yeah.
So it's like double the rent and even more.
Yeah.
But then I thought, if I give up my massage place where I paid like $250 at the
There's
time,
some money, yeah.
and I move everything here, I'll buy a couple of reformers because I had a little bit of saved money.
Yeah.
Then maybe I could start the business. So then I call it Natural Pilates and Bodyworks because
So wait a minute. Now you're opening a space. Were you already giving people training sessions in Pilates, or you just were certified and I'm just going to start my business and go from there?
yeah. So basically, it's what happened. I saw the space, and then I just
Wow. So you didn't have a bunch of clients that were coming to you at this point.
no. I had a couple of massage clients, so that was good because I had a good
Some
start.
income, yeah.
So when I started the business, when I started the first day, I remember I had the equipment ordered. I'm friendly, I think. So I went around in the
Promoting,
neighborhood
door
and
to
I
door.
met everybody. And the first day of business, I was actually positive because everybody sent their clients upstairs.
Got it.
And they
so
said,
you just
"Ah."
door knocked and said hello to people. I'm open for business, and people started coming.
Yeah. So basically in 2005, when
That's
this
2005.
happened, it wasn't like today, the fitness industry, where people go on MindBody online and
Yeah.
they book their classes.
Right.
Basically was nothing like that, or maybe I didn't even know about it, but I had a book where I used to make my appointments by hand, and it used to be all cell phone business.
Yeah.
And I used to have a little desk where I used to manage my appointments, and that's really the way I started, one client at a time.
One at a time. It was just you. You're booking, you're scheduling, you're
Just
doing
me.
the class, you're running the business, you're doing it all. And was it the entire space that you're in, or was it one little room?
One little room.
So it wasn't the full
No, it was
studio as
not
it
the
is
full
today.
studio. No.
So it was one little room, and were you able to do group classes, or was it too small,
No, so
one
it
at a
was
time?
one or two machines. So I could
Got
do
it.
privates or semi-privates.
Okay.
And I got busy pretty quick myself.
Just
and
by word of mouth.
just by word of mouth. And then I hired my second person, which is still with me today. And the next door space got available. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I became friends with the landlord.
Yeah.
He was coming for Pilates. He knows
Got it.
what I'm doing.
And
so
he saw that this was really working.
Yeah, like potential. So we didn't really think twice. We got the space next door.
So you were fearless. Fearless to start the business, fearless to create, expand it. I mean, that's...
because
lot.
I had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I guess
When you
so.
have nothing to lose, it's like...
Nothing to be afraid of. There's just...
Yeah, it's really fun. And basically, we took that space next door and we added a couple of more machines. And then as years went by, more space got available. We took more and more space. We remodeled with the money that we made profit.
Yeah.
And,
So you kept reinvesting in the business.
keep reinvesting in a business. And honestly, like that's the only way you could potentially do it, because today to open a new studio, you need $300,000.
Is that what it would be today?
Yeah.
So when people are opening these businesses, they're spending
300
to get their doors open.
Basically $300,000 to get the doors open.
So it's a completely different ball game now.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, probably if I wouldn't have started one client at a time, would have been different, you know?
You started organically with the smallest amount of space and the smallest amount of equipment.
Yeah, and also I'm involved, so I did a lot of the stuff.
You
so
did
I didn't
everything.
really have to pay anybody.
You were wearing all the hats, doing everything.
Basically.
So that's 2005. At what point, and maybe it sounds like it happened immediately or pretty close, at what point were you telling yourself like, wow, this is a real business and this is a real long-term business that I can grow? Did that start right away in the first year? Did it take a couple of years? And what was
I mean, right now I'm like this year I'm going to have 14 years being there.
14 years.
That was like a really maturity process for me too, because I was a baby. I was 24 when I started. And, I didn't really think about it so much. I remember when I started that business, I thought, I'll be here a couple of years and then I'll figure it out what's going to happen, you know? I was really caught up into the expansion of it. Every year, a little bit more clients and more clients. I think maybe about 6 years ago, it's when the studio started booming. Like we got really busy. We started doing group classes, maybe even more than 6 years, maybe 8 years ago. We added a second group classroom. So right now in Beverly Hills, we have 2 rooms where we conduct group classes and also 5 private rooms. Yeah. So from one room, I'm basically from 700 square feet, I'm 3,500 square feet today.
Wow.
So
when did you open your second space? What year was that?
So it was 2013.
Okay, so it's been now 6 years since you've had
Actually,
multiple.
no, 2015. Sorry.
2015.
We opened Silver
4
Lake in 2015.
So how does that change you as a business operator and owner? You can't be everywhere all the time. So what has changed as this business has grown? What have you had to do in terms of bringing in people, training people?
It's definitely a learning process even at that point, because I didn't really know what I'm doing, So I got the second space in Silver Lake, and luckily I had some core people that I could really trust, and I trained them since they were like 19, basically. They work with me.
Yeah.
And they could step in and take over. And we basically experienced with Silver Lake. We didn't really know, how it's going to be or what's going to be. I got loans for equipment and loans for the bank.
Nice.
And just take the risk, and see where it's going to really go.
So you just went for it again, fearless, went for it, had faith that something good would come of it by working hard, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I basically live my life by now or never, so I don't want to have any regrets. So if an opportunity comes in, I'm trying to assess it. Obviously, you can take every opportunity comes in, but trying to assess the opportunity and then hopefully take it if it's a good one. So definitely I would say the second studio was a learning process.
Yeah.
Then 2 years later, I opened Brentwood Studio, which is doing really well. And that again, experimenting. And because at that point, I don't have my brand really set up properly. I'm just kind of like
Developing
expanding
it.
like a small business, trying to do everything the most I can. And then I can't afford to have all the people that have expertise in coming in and try to package my business.
Yeah.
So still doing the best I can with social media or marketing or just anything else, training for the instructors, because every time I hire instructors, I put a lot of time and effort into training them to make sure that we are all on the same page. We have the same mindset when we train people, because a lot of our clients train with different instructors. So we need to make sure we exchange notes. We need to make sure that, if my client trained with somebody else, that I can share a note and the other person can understand what I'm doing with the client. So we stay on the same path of,
That makes sense.
helping clients to achieve goals.
So there's a drop off if you aren't with your client. It's, the goal is to have it be smooth and someone else can handle it if you're not there.
Yes, and there's a level of expectation at this point that, majority of our clients been with us for, luckily, like since we opened. Like I laugh in my classes all the time because we basically grew up together.
Right.
I have clients that we basically see for 12 years.
Wow.
12, 13 years,
Unreal.
and they come regularly 2-3 times a week. So, I mean, imagine how many of your friends you see
That's fantastic.
that often.
You must have some real characters with some of the people that come in there. I mean, Beverly Hills, you must have some real difficult personalities, and I can't imagine some of the egos and nonsense you deal with. Is there any fun stories that you can share, or anything that comes to mind? Or can you speak to that at all? Like, what's it like servicing people that have that kind of entitled? It's like the opposite of where you came from, the opposite of you, of hard work and discipline. You have people coming to you with such entitlements and issues, and
I don't really think like that. Every time, like, let's say somebody's entitled or somebody comes off entitled, like, it's definitely not us that they're entitled. It's something with them or whatever their day was. And honestly, like several years ago, I was like, gosh, I wish I'm going to go open a studio in the Valley. Maybe that will be a little bit easier. People will be more understanding and stuff. But then as the business progressed, I really got to understand customer service, and I got to understand how we need to act. And if we can only be responsible for our part in it and not the way we are being treated. And I honestly really stand up for people to treat my staff nice and us nice. And I always told them, like, look, if somebody calls you on the phone and for some reason they're really upset and you can't find the resolution to the conflict, all you need to say is like, I do not appreciate the way you talk to me. I say, I have no problem with that. And if the client has a problem with that, they can call me personally, because I don't think that nobody should talk to anybody else with a specific tone just because they do want something. And, honestly, we are in Beverly Hills. If something is not perfect, people will mention it. Not necessarily complain. It's probably more
kvetch, that's what we call it.
Maybe more is to kind of help me to kind of say, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that, which is good because
criticism.
we actually thrive on that, because I want to know what people think, and I want people to have a good experience, when they come to the studio, and I do the best I can to accommodate if I can. And that's, I think, it's all attitude. How do we deal with this specific situation?
That's a very refreshing attitude and a very refreshing perspective, and I can learn from that. I think we all can. I mean, dealing with high-profile, entitled personalities all day, to see where you're coming from and realizing, okay, a lot of it is them. Let me just control myself. I can only control the way I act, so let me have empathy for whoever's acting the way they are. And
I feel like the universe, though, kind of like, I always feel like I have like a positive aura around me. And I feel like the universe shredded all these entitled clients. Our clientele actually, like, honestly, 99.9%. I'm having fun going to work every day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like, everybody's great. I mean, everybody's been there for so long.
Yeah,
So
so
that
you're
kind of tells you
attracting-
something.
You're attracting positive people
Yeah,
to you,
like
'cause the
it
way
kind
you
of
are.
tells you something about that. Definitely in the day of today, like for example, like there's a lot of like influencers or people like that. They come in the studio and they feel like they need to get something for free because they will, you know, talk about
Promote
their
it.
experience, you know, but that doesn't always work for me because my time is so important. Like I really want to give it to somebody that cares and somebody that really needs it, you
Yeah.
know? So
Understood.
definitely had a couple of experience where, you know, it was basically a waste of my time
Got it.
to put my time in there to give sessions
Free sessions, and it
to-
never helped you.
to influencers. Not that it didn't help me, but it didn't even help them. It's just,
Yeah, it's just
you know,
a
because
waste
it was
of
just
time.
a more things like, this is what I'm doing, da da da. And I'm like, I really want to put my time in helping people. If somebody really needs it, that's why I'm there.
Yeah.
And not just kind of like, you know, I'll give you free sessions if you promote me. Like I want my referral business and my clients are really coming based on referral, 90%, and then internet search.
Yeah.
So really, like my clients are the ones referring me business.
Right.
And those are the
makes
base and
sense.
the core of my
Yeah.
business, you know? And honestly, like we have that ability in America to choose and pick who you want to work with.
Yes, we do.
You know, and-
We're not in Romania.
Yeah, definitely not. You're not forced to do something.
Yeah.
So I was definitely, I feel grateful majority of the days I go work.
Yeah.
From 365 days, 333, I feel really good about
Damn,
going
those
to
are
work.
good
And
odds.
I'm actually I'm having fun because it's repetitive business.
Yeah.
And I know the clients, and even if I don't know, if I have new clients, I'm really excited to share what we're doing and, you know, help them connect better with their bodies or give them the best experience in Pilates they got so far. That's
Yeah.
my goal.
Well, you clearly have a very positive energy and very sort of a deep spiritual sort of ethos to who you are as a person, which goes well with Pilates and health and such. And do you have, if you're going to define what your brand is now that you're growing and it's not just you in a studio and it is a brand and it's taking on a life of its own, what is the brand represent? What is the ethos of the brand? I imagine it reflects a lot of you personally, but have you thought about that and what it really means to what separates you from other studio, other Pilates companies, other exercise and wellness type businesses?
I definitely thought about a lot more in the past 2 years versus in the past, because in the past I was just riding, you know, the wave and see where
keeping
things,
up with the business,
yeah,
growing
things
the
are
business.
going. But now we are at the point where we need to define who are we
Yeah.
as a brand and as a team, and what kind of message we send out, you know. And basically I would say I'm a little bit more conservative thinking on, like, I want people to work hard. It's not just about having fun, because people come and spend money, and I want them to feel like they get 100% every single time. And, you know, Natural Pilates brand is really, the message that we send out is, you know, we do want people to get stronger. We do want people to increase flexibility. We do want people to build awareness in their bodies. And we do want people to learn to use all the tools and all the principles that we teach them through Pilates in all the workouts they do, not just in Pilates. I want
Interesting.
people I want to send people to do other stuff, not just Pilates, because it's really healthy for their brain development and the mental health
Yeah.
of doing different things. So I'm not just looking at Pilates just being only Pilates, but it's really health in general.
A platform and a foundation to live a healthy, athletic life.
Lifestyle,
Yeah,
basically.
I agree.
And,
That's-
you know, for me, it's very important, the focus on a client. And I think that's how we are different from other studios in the way we try to improve ourselves. So over time, I never stopped improving. I took a lot of workshops. I studied MAT. I started RTS, Resistance Training Specialist. I did yoga certification. I did gyrotonic certification. I did any course that I thought neuromuscular
Everything.
specialties,
Learn
cadaver
as much
workshops.
as you can about the body
Basically,
and
yes.
health
So
and-
so I can see where do we fit Pilates in this fitness world, because if you don't know anything about anything else, you're just going to say Pilates this.
Yeah.
I wanted to know everything as much as I
That's
could
smart.
about everything. So then we see where are we standing. So nowadays, in the past 2-3 years, I put together my certification program.
To certify other
Certified
trainers.
other trainers or help the current trainers, the new ones that we're hiring, into learning not so much my brand Pilates, but our thought process that we have when we look at the body. So it's really more about being hands-on with the client, teaching them how to do it versus just doing it. Because a lot of people exercise, they just do it. They don't really think of how they
How
do
they're
it.
doing it and learning.
Where to connect, how to connect, it's the whole experience on, I'm going to do crunches, but how do you do that crunch? You can have different experience by just doing a crunch.
Yes,
So
for sure.
that's what's important to me, like the focus on the specific goal that the client has and really create that specific program that we always talk about, like every fitness company says we created a specific program to meet
Custom.
customers'
Yeah.
needs. But really at the end of the day, I was like, we don't really know what that really means, So unless you have a whole bunch of tools like range of motion assessment and, really work with the client one-on-one, do muscle testing, and then that progressing into isolated training, into progressing into integrated training, into potentially plyometrics and, dancing and whatever else we're doing, so basically like for me, I'm trying to teach my clients how does Pilates fit in their life.
And it's different for everyone.
It's different for everyone.
Because everyone's at a different level of fitness and different level of athleticism and strength. And
Yeah, I mean, when we have clients that we have prenatal classes, we have intermediate advanced classes, we have power classes for people that just want to go to the next level.
Right.
I
Are
have,
you getting a lot of professional athletes or competitive athletes, college, high school athletes that are training Pilates? Because
not as
I'm
much.
hearing a lot of that from people I know, that a lot of the professional athletes are looking to Pilates as
I
some
think
way
this
to
is
prevent
something
injuries
newer.
and get different kind of training. And from my experience, I've been training since I've been like you, competitive sports since I was 5 years old, and tried everything: weightlifting, running, lifting, boxing, yoga. Pilates really is sort of that one encompassing wellness exercise that really does prevent injuries and create while you're building strength and flexibility. It makes a lot of sense. I wish I would have known about Pilates when I was competing, because I feel like it's probably that would have been the best balancing of my body and realigning the core. It just, everything about it is right for athletes, which I think it's right for everybody. And when
Yeah.
you're an athlete and have to perform at the highest level and you're looking for all the little advantages and where your body needs to strengthen, I feel like Pilates nails it.
Yeah, definitely. But, I think it comes from their trainers too. Like, so professional athletes, trainers, they need to broaden their mind into what's out there versus just training in one way.
Yeah.
So this is my, I love to do that. I love to introduce new things to people, like mostly like guys, like they think, oh, Pilates is for girls. And they think that just because Joe Pilates did Pilates in New York and was originally created for dancers.
Got it.
So a lot of the
didn't know that.
choreography from Pilates is based on dance moves and also a lot of choreography.
Got it.
As you know, you being a guy, guys have a little bit of harder time with the choreography moves.
Yeah.
So what we did different is that we cut the exercises to more simple. We do a little bit more basic movements so everybody can get it. Because honestly, Pilates got so popular that not a lot of people are dancers. And I don't want clients to get frustrated because they can't follow the choreography. So I cut it down to where people can really understand it, go really basic and really deep into what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, we do have a couple of professional athletes, not a lot. I wish for more, for
Yeah.
people to kind of get to learn it. A lot of moms Beverly Hills clientele, it's a lot of families.
Yeah,
So a lot of moms are actually bringing their sons and their husbands in.
Jessica brought me. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the hardest,
You
best
got a little
workout I've
scared,
had.
but that's something
Yeah,
else.
I was scared. I was out mad.
I think it's just the Romanian in me that
the
scared
Romania.
you.
It was me and all these women that were perfect shape, and I was getting killed in there. And I mean, it is such a hard workout. Yet it's not a type of workout where I feel like I'm going to get hurt, which is what I like. I can push the limits and touch areas of the body that I don't touch in the gym and other places, and yet I'm not putting myself in a position of harm, which is why I feel it's such an important thing for anyone that's into any sort of athletics and just in life, just to build strength, which it's just an incredible type of movement. And I know you can't really define Pilates. There's so many different types, and
not necessarily. Pilates is still Pilates at the end of the day, and it's just it's just the way we teach it. It's not so much the movement, it's just how you do the movement.
Yeah.
It's everybody runs. It's not about that. It's about how you run.
Yeah.
It's about the detail of it. So I think that's what a lot of people are missing. And that's kind of like my next goals, is to really bring that awareness within, hopefully in the future, to develop to expand my studio throughout the whole America, because I really want people not just to do a squat. I want people to do the squat the right way for them.
it's different for everyone.
Yeah, just kind of zoom in a little bit into the body, because there's like this guidelines in fitness. They say, oh, don't let the knees go in the front of the toes, or but it doesn't work like that for every single person. So we definitely need to be able to look at the body, scan to see what it is, talk to their professionals like physical therapists or whoever they're working with. All the fitness professionals and health professionals work as a team to improve someone's well-being, basically.
Yeah. So what do you see now as the future of Natural Pilates? Or do you not think ahead because you're still in the grind of keeping up with growing the business? But do you have a vision of where you see it in the next 3 to 5 years?
I mean, we're shooting for 10 studios first, and
10
then
studios.
we'll go from there.
Amazing.
I'm really a doer, so
I'd say you're a doer.
He sees the bigger picture, and which is great. But I'm a doer, so I'm kind of going one day at a time.
One step at a time, staying present.
Yeah, staying present, and definitely looking at the big picture and growing my certification program, because I love to teach trainers.
Yeah.
I want to start teaching in conventions where I am more in contact with a lot of fitness professionals. In the West Hollywood locations, we work with several orthopedic doctors, I'm hoping that we can create some cadaver workshops in connections with mechanics. And I definitely want to bring that learning aspect to not just Pilates, but body in general, how the body works, the mechanics of the body, and just for everyone to understand a little bit better that. And also, like, if I get all the trainers to think like that, I feel like we have a good possibility of teaching our clients how to be aware of what they need to do for themselves, because a lot of people I say, how many more reps? And they say, well, you tell me, you're the trainer. I'm like, no, it's your body. You tell me how much you can handle, because I'm nobody to tell you what to do or how, I can guide you through it. But at the end of the day, each person should be their own boss for their own body.
You have to be in touch with your body, know your body, understand where you can push, where you can't. That's what I think is so important. And so much of personal training misses that.
Yes.
It's so much about, you got to do 10 reps, 20 reps,
It's easy to kick somebody's butt, It's just what it's hard is to give them just the appropriate challenge.
For each person.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I know you also have not just a big business, you've got a child and married. So how do you balance this all? I always ask people, is balance something that you do well with? And, most people tell me, well, it's hard to balance, so we just do the best we can. But what is your take on that and how you keep it all together?
It's definitely a challenge to balance. I think that's kind of like not just my struggle, but every individual struggle, and, balance everything we do all the time. I basically start my days at 6 a.m.
Okay.
I wake up at 5. I'm at
wake
work
up
at
5.
6. Yeah.
That's early.
Work at 6. I finish around 2 or 3 teaching, not doing anything else.
Yeah. So you're teaching from 6 to 2 or 3
6
classes.
to 2 or 3. I teach still full time, believe it or not.
Wow.
And then I rush to get my kids from school.
Right.
And then we go to classes. And then when we come back from classes, I have to go. I have two kids. My Nicholas is 6 and Chloe is 3.5.
Right.
I got to pick up Chloe. Once I pick up Chloe, we're coming home, we're having dinner. And then I get to work a little bit more on just checking the emails or anything else I have to do. Sometimes I have to shoot for social media or content. Sometimes my days become 12-hour days. Sometimes I don't see my kids for 48 hours. It really depends, but I'm definitely trying to pick them up from school every day and try to be present with them as much as I can. Still working on that, work in progress. I think cell phone really destroyed the ability of people to be together without thinking of something else.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to see how we can innovate, like maybe put a box at the door and everybody put the electronics
I like it.
devices
like
there.
That.
And, it's just the self-discipline. I have self-discipline in everything else. It seems like cell phone is stuck to my hand somehow.
That's a tough one for all of us, for sure. Do you do any meditation or mindfulness or anything like that?
I wish I would. I'm in a process of thinking about it. I think will be really helpful for me to do 2 times a day when I wake up and when I go to bed. So, or even reading. I think reading would really help before I go to bed versus social media. I think social media is really a stressful thing that we have to deal with.
How about your own workout routines and diet? And obviously you're in great shape. You're doing all these classes as part of it. When are you training?
So I train when I get a cancellation. Unfortunately, I have a lot of respect for people, professionals that make time 2 to 3 times a week to exercise. Yeah. Because I need to make time for myself to exercise. And I have a machine at home. So sometimes after my kids go to bed, I exercise. That's it. Regarding diet, I have rheumatoid arthritis, which I got after my first baby, and it got really bad after my second. So I was really struggling for a year with trying different anti-inflammatory diets.
It's painful.
Yeah.
For an athlete who's moving their body all day. That's
but
I
mean, it couldn't be nobody else that could happen this to, because it's so helpful for me that I know what I'm doing. So it actually it never stopped me from I'm in pain, I'm not going to work. Going to work actually made everything so much better, and just moving through and kind of it really helped me understand people's pain better, people tolerance better, and not take anything for granted. So if somebody has a certain experience that I can't understand, I'm not saying that can't be, because sometimes pain, it's hard to describe. It can be burning. It can be on the surface of the skin. It can be deep. It can be, so it really teach me to ask the right questions,
Yeah.
For people. I think it's a learning process, and I'm still in the process of exploring different diets, different concepts, different,
it's constantly
new
tweaking
thing,
and
the
evolving
new thing
and learning
of what
new things.
can work for me, because what works for me doesn't work for you. So that's the problem. Yeah.
That's true. Well, you are such an incredibly impressive person, and you really sort of represent all that's good with entrepreneurs, with the hard work, the hustle, the discipline, the mental toughness. And I think so much about the stories you're telling about Romania and what that was like, and for you coming here and doing what you've done, and yet it was all so. I hear that it was. What I'm sensing for you is there was so much joy in the journey. Every step of the way, it was never about, this is grueling work. For you were having fun at the pool at the motel, cleaning the rooms, going to the beach, having fun, giving massages, making everything about it, that attitude, I think I wish we could bottle that up and all learn from that, because it's so important.
I'm still having fun, because my mom always say you should spend more time at home, and I'm I'm going to go crazy. I need to go to work. Every time I'm at work, I'm relaxed. I'm not on my cell phone. I'm 100% present with my clients. I'm cracking jokes. Everybody's having a good time. And that kind of really empowers me and gives me energy for the day. Because imagine, I don't stop till 9 p.m. 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. nonstop. Running places, doing things.
With this energy and this attitude, and you
I have to, I feel like it's a generation, like a generator.
You
kind of
keep pumping the energy.
Yes, and it's just the way.
Well, this whole crew, we all need Natural Pilates for sure. We all need it. So hopefully they'll join you. Hopefully I'll get there, and I won't be so scared the second time. But thank you for spending time with us. You're amazing to spend time with. Look forward to seeing you either your studio or out and about with Jessica. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
awesome.
I really had
Thanks.
fun. Great
Great.
time.
Yeah, listen. I am what I am today, 'cause I did it my way. None of y'all can say. In this life or the next one, watch me, I'ma be the best. I am what I am today, 'cause I did it my way. None of y'all can say.
Man, that was an incredible story. Thank you, Laura Wilson, for sharing that with us. It's so inspirational. You hear that, and it's like truly the American dream is alive, and you just have to have the hustle and grit, and wow, that puts things in perspective. So she's amazing. So if you want to do some Pilates, go to any of her Natural Pilates studios. You can also find her at Natural Pilates on Instagram. She's also all over social media. And you can always find me at Danny Brown LA on Instagram, and also our website, DannyBrownLA.com. We appreciate you tuning in. You can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, everywhere. We're worldwide. What up? See ya.
Y'all can say. In this life or the